Yeah. All right. So, do you have any questions, Rosalie?
Just to clarify,
Sure. Number 9 on 10.2. All right. So, number 9. Was changing it from degrees to radians. So this is when I showed you to make the division bar, put pi next to the number, and then 180 in the bottom. Then all we need to do is put in our calculator 475, or negative, I guess, 475, divided by 180. And instead of leaving it as a decimal, let's write it as a fraction. So you hit the math button and enter twice. So you get negative 95 pi over 36. Don't forget that pi is part of our answer. That's in radian form. Okay? Anything else? You want me to go over those answers with you? Because nobody went over them with you, did they? Anybody need to know which? Let's look at 12. That's one's a tricky one. I don't think I give you one like this on the quiz. I'm pretty sure I don't, but I'll just go over it anyway. It's just the number 6. There's no pi with it, but there's no degree symbol, right? So if there's no degree symbol, it's in radians. Okay? So we have to do times the 180 over pi on this. Okay? But there's no pi that cancels out. So you just do it in your calculator then. Just do the 6 times 180. You can hit enter if you want, or you can go straight to divided by. And then the pi symbol is right there above the division sign, the caret button there. If you hit second caret, it'll give you the pi symbol, and it punches it in there for you, and then hit enter. So that'd be 343. And it didn't say to round it at all. So I rounded it to tenths. 343.8 degrees. So some of you saw a number there and no pi, so you did it like 789, but really it's a radian you're changing to degrees. All right, we're good with standard position of angles, right? Make sure you label it on your quiz, right? They're basically labeled on these, but on your quiz, label it. We're good on the coterminals, a positive and a negative. Like 5 and 6, you had to add 360 a couple times because they started out negative, and they were more than negative 360. Okay? And then matching up at the bottom. So we're good with this side, 10.2. Okay.
When's the class?
It'll be Thursday because we have a short period tomorrow. I don't want to give you a quiz with a short period and rush it. It'll be Thursday. You got the whole period to work on, okay? All right, going over the practice quiz, okay? This is number 1. All right, before I can find all 6 trig ratios, trig functions, I got to find that missing side, that leg here. So we're going to call that 4 squared. We'll call this side b plus b squared, but you could call it a if you want, equals the hypotenuse squared, which is the c. Right? Hypotenuse is always the c. So 4 squared, 16. 8 squared, 64. And then get b by itself. So you get b squared is 48. And then you take the square root. Okay? I don't want, what is it, 6.93 or whatever it was. That's not correct for what we're doing. You got to put it in radical form. So if you do a factor tree for your 48, you get 16 times 3 is what the one I like to use, because 16 is what type of number? Perfect square, right. So what's the square root of 16? 4. So the 4 comes out front, and the 3 will stay under the radical sign. Put it in radical form. Okay? Now, another thing that I talked to you about, so that you make sure at the end your fractions are all in lowest terms, is to check these numbers for the sides. I got a 4, 8, and a 4 radical 3. What goes into all three of those? What number? 4. So I would divide 4 out of all those. So then when I write my fractions are in lowest terms. Okay? So this becomes a 1. That becomes a 1. This becomes a 2 now. Okay? Now we're just going to do our SOHCAHTOA stuff. All right? Now remember, here's theta. So this is where we're starting from. Opposite for sine. Opposite 1, hypotenuse is 2, sine's down here. Okay? I like to go in order of how I've learned it. So I always learned sine, cosine, tangent, but I didn't give you the answers in order, right? What's the reciprocal for sine? Which one of them? CSC, cosecant, the one right above it, right? So what's this going to be? You just write 2 if you want. 2 over 1 is okay.
I just put radical 48, and that's how I left it.
Then you miss a point for not simplifying. Okay? You got to simplify your radicals, and you got to simplify your fractions, always. All right? Cosine, adjacent. So adjacent to theta is the 1 radical 3, hypotenuse is 2. I really wouldn't need the 1, but that's okay. Which one is the reciprocal of cosine? Connor, wake up. What's reciprocal of cosine? Secant. Thank you. So I put 2 over radical 3 for that. Am I allowed to leave it like that, though? Everyone said no. Thank you. So it should look like this when you're done. Okay. Tangent, TOA, opposite, which is the 1 over adjacent, the 1 radical 3. You have to rationalize that one. Cotangent, flip the original here. Don't flip the one that's after you got the radical out of the bottom, because then you're going to have a radical in the bottom again. Right, Alec? So do the original fraction. That way you don't have to do any rationalizing a denominator. So radical 3 over 1, which is just radical 3. So make sure you put the right fraction in the right spot. If you don't, you're missing points. Okay? You should know what goes with what. Questions on that one? Serena, you need glasses?
No, you need better handwriting. I can't see it.
I think it's pretty good for an old
I
man.
had 2 or 3.
Where?
Above the 3.
Looks just like it.
No, like that's
Yeah, that is an ugly one there. You're right. But that one is good. What's 1 times anything, Serenity? Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, you can put the 1 in front, but you don't have to. It's not wrong if you do. We good now? Serenity, you got everything you need?
Actually, yeah, you can flip it.
Okay. Thanks. All right, so number 2 here is the same type of problem, just giving you the information differently. All right, so we have to draw a right triangle for this. I'm going to put theta here, but if you want to put it up in the other one, that's okay. Doesn't matter where you put it. All right, so sine is opposite side of theta is there, over hypotenuse, which is there. So it gives you 2 of the 3 sides of the triangle, just like the other one has. Just give it to you differently. Everybody understand that? So I do Pythagorean again. Three squared plus b squared equals 5 squared. 9 plus b squared is 25. Subtract 9. B squared is 16. So what's b equal? 4. And that's the most common right triangle, the 3, 4, 5 right triangle. Okay? Since I already have sine, let's go ahead and get what's its reciprocal? Cosecant. Yeah, 5/3, right? But make sure you use the right 3 letters. Okay? And then we'll do cosine. And we'll do secant. And then we'll do tangent. And then we'll do cotangent. So those are the other 4 I have to get. Cosine, here's theta, adjacent 4 over hypotenuse 5. So secant 5 over 4. And then tangent, TOA, opposite 3 over adjacent 4. So cotangents 4 over 3. So 1 and 2 are basically the same type of problem, just give you the information a little differently. Questions? Pretty easy stuff, right? Good? All right. Number 3. After takeoff from an airport, an airplane's angle of ascent is 15 degrees. The airplane climbs to an altitude of 8,000 feet. At that point, what is the land distance between the airplane and the airport? Okay. So my plane starts here at the airport, and then it starts going up, right? Here's the ground. So this is 15 degrees. It gets so high. How high does it get? 8,000 feet. Which one of these is the land distance? The bottom or the hypotenuse? The land distance. The bottom, right? Understand that? There's our picture. So, I got my 15-degree angle here. So, what side is the 8,000? Which one of the 3? Opposite. Which one's the X? Adjacent. Opposite, adjacent. OA. Which one am I using? Tangent. TOA. Right? So here's my equation. Tangent of 15 degrees equals opposite 8,000 over adjacent X. I told you to write it as a proportion. Just put the left side over 1 so that you can do what to solve? Proportion cross multiply, right? So, tangent of 15 times X, I'll just do it. X times tangent of 15. And 1 times 8,000 is 8,000. So what do I do to get X alone? Divide by the tangent of 15. So that's what I'm going to put in my calculator. This right side fraction. Make sure our calculator is in what mode? degree mode. Okay. Just a quick check. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. So 8,000 divided by tangent 15. Close it up. 29,856 feet. Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. This one. That's the land distance. So, how many miles is that? How many feet in a mile? 5,280. So I have to divide by 5, right? Almost 6 miles. Between 5 and 6 miles. Just a quick extra to you. So far, so good. Pretty easy, huh? All right. Last thing we'll do today. So AB is 10. That's the hypotenuse. So if the hypotenuse is 10, what's BC? 5. It's half as long, right? The short leg opposite the 30 is always half as long as the hypotenuse. And what's AC, the long leg? Right. It's the short leg, 5 times the square root of 3. We're supposed to know that. Remember? Hopefully you remember. Okay? Any questions? Is this going to be that difficult for you guys on Thursday? Everybody said, no, it's simple. We will do good. All right? All right. Tomorrow we'll finish up. Thanks. Drew.
Got a question. So for AB, since it's 10, but the formula is 2 times x. So would it be 2 times 5 equals 10?
Right.
Okay, I was curious.
Right. This is, when I showed you, this was 2x, this was x, and this was x radical 3, right?
Yeah.
So if you know this one, divide by 2 to get here.
Yeah.
If you know this one, multiply by 2 to get here.
Because I was going to see if I just left it as 2 to 5 and then round some point and go to like that deal.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want this answer. Though.
Yeah.
I want the 5 radical 3. Okay?
Yeah, 5 rounds.
She always does. This reminded me
Yeah.
of a question, but you might want to end it.
Thanks for reminding me.